Hey, what's happening, Nation? It's Joku. We officially signed Prince Akamura today. I was really happy to see that. All his paperwork's done. We got him in the system. He's ready to go. So that's a good move for us. But in a corresponding move to that, we went ahead and waived Nick Nelson. This is a tough one for me. I really like that kid. I truly did. But this is the first dude of a list of many that we're going to see cut off this team. A lot of them are going to be dudes that we have grown to love over the past couple seasons, but Nick Nelson I wanted to see stick around. I thought that kid had a ton of potential. So it came out today. Let me just read this off real quick so I don't get it wrong. The Raiders have officially announced the signing of free agent cornerback Prince Akamura and waived failed physical cornerback Nick Nelson in the corresponding roster move. Nelson was a fourth-round pick out of Wisconsin in 2018, John Gruden's first draft class, so that was without Mayock. I'm curious to see if he would have brought Mayock, or if Mayock would have brought him in if he was out there. Nelson played in 12 games, starting 3 in 2 years, had 1 pass defended, 20 tackles, over 312 defensive snaps. One of them came last season. Those numbers are straight trash. I mean, let's not lie. That is what it is. But the kid was still young. He didn't have the best size out there. I don't know. They're a Raider for a minute. They grow on you. I really like that kid, though. I think he still had some potential. It said failed physical out there, so I'm wondering if he never recovered from that injury. I'm not really sure how the contract works with something like that, but it sucks to see him go. But like I said, man, it's a long list of a lot of dudes. We got to trim like 40 dudes off this roster. Dudes that we've been talking about. So, I mean, these names are going to come through. Let me know what you guys think. Like, who do you think is going to be, like, on the offensive side and the defensive side? Who will be our 2 biggest releases out there? Because I know we're not done bringing people in. So, you're going to see people getting shuffled around. But just kind of off the top of your head, or you can leave it in the comments section after the video. Just let me know who your 2 biggest shocks would be out there. Oh, Chris, what's happening, man? I did, dude. I had an awesome birthday. I appreciate that. Numbers, what's going on? Mitchell, Nation, Stumbling, what's happening, dude? That was Mackenzie Gruden class, right? Yeah, that was. That was the Gruden's taking over the team. Reggie doesn't get to make any picks. He just has to sit there and fucking grit his teeth and watching all this shit happen around him. Because I knew he wasn't happy about that. And for whether you loved Reggie or you hated him, the dude came into a terrible situation in the front office as far as just jacked up salaries and just a shit roster. And he honestly did a damn good job with it. And he honestly fixed a lot of our money situations while he was here. So I respect him for that. Joe Mama, what's going on? Anthony, what's happening? King, what's going on? So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know who your big shocks are there. And then a few dudes that I wanted to bring into this team. I still think we're going to see another linebacker come in. I still think we're going to see another running back. A lot of you guys want to see another defensive tackle come in. I'm curious to see. I'm not sure if that one's going to happen. I was checking out Watts' video the other day, and I've said it before. I really think our defensive line is pretty solid out there. So, and then another safety or something. But I really think our safeties are set too out there. So just another running back, another linebacker. I think we'll be looking damn good at that point. Gabe would be shocking, but not sure if he'll actually release him. Nicholas, what's happening, man? Gabe would be shocking. There's no chance we just straight up release him. We'll end up eating too much money on that, I believe. But he's still a definite trade candidate before the trade deadline. We brought in some depth at that offensive line position. I really like Gabe Jackson. I want him to stay on this team. But if the price is right out there, you might see him get moved. Same thing with Joyner out there. I just don't know if anybody's going to eat that money to take either one of those dudes onto their team. What's left of that class, by the way? Oh, man. I'm honestly not sure. Just as far, because we went through the Gruden purge out there. I know we still got Markel Lee. We still got Carr. There's one other dude that I'm forgetting. No, actually, it might have been Carl Joseph, and now he's gone too. So, yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man. This is Gruden and Mayock's team. And they're going to let Carr lead it for as long as he can, so we'll see what happens with that. Numbers, Carr, yeah, dude. It's like 2 or 3 dudes. I think it's 2 dudes now. I think it's Carr and Markel Lee out there. I'm really hoping Lee sticks around. I'm really hoping Lee can take a step forward this season. I truly, truly hope that he can. But he might be one of those dudes that out there that's one of those shocking cuts that I'm talking about. I could see him possibly getting moved on from. I could see we have like 9 or 10 corners out there on this team right now. So that list is going to be damn near cut in half. I think Eric Harris is going to end up being casualty of war this offseason, as much as I hate to say it, because I really do like that guy. Hopefully he can end up making this roster. But it could be somebody like Heath that we brought in, tested him out, didn't work out. Heath ends up going and Harris ends up staying. So there's going to be some room back there of those dudes getting shuffled around. And then on the offensive side, I'm telling you right now, you'll see a lot of the backup to the backups on our offensive line end up getting cut off this team. But you're going to see our wide receiver room just shredded. And we've talked about it. It'll probably go down to 6, maybe 7. I'm thinking it's going to be 6, and then the game day activations will be another receiver, so we'll have 7 total on game day. But we'll only be keeping 6 on the roster. So I don't know, man. If we talked about that 6 for a long, long time, just curious to see how it shakes out with them. But there's going to be some major cuts right there. And then you're going to see 1 or 2 of these running backs end up getting cut off this team. But I'm curious to see if we bring in somebody else. So let me know your thoughts on that, man. Yeah, it looks like we're stuck with Joyner. Yeah, sadly it does for right now. And like I said, we have the players back there that can take over his position now, so I'm happy as shit to see that out there. But at the same time, we're paying him, so he's going to be out there playing. That dude better get out there and earn his money. Really thinking he's going to take a step up with the talent surrounding him right now, so I'm really happy about that. So, that's going to be a tough one, man. Joyner burns me up, man, I'm telling you. It's the Gruock team. Gabe Jackson in the same class as Carr. Yes. So, oh man, what's happening, Johnny? Glad things are going good. I saw you out there earlier on somebody else's channel I was watching. That dude that went live earlier, he was I've only caught a few of his shows. He really doesn't do like full-time Raider stuff, but whenever somebody's live talking Raider football, I always try to jump in there and just check them out and just kind of share my voice and let everybody know. I did ask him a question, and I'll ask it to you guys too, and feel free to either put it out here or put it in the comment section. I asked that kid, I was like, if you can go out there and sign one guy, any position on either side of the ball to kind of push this team over the top, who would you go out there and sign? He loved the question. He thought about it for a minute, but he came back and said that he'd go out there and pick up a linebacker out there. And I don't know, man. When you have that, like such a broad question like that, there's so much different crap you can narrow it down to. A linebacker was a great choice. I will give him that. He never gave me a true name of who he wanted to see come onto the team. But the dude had a pretty cool show. So, man, I totally spaced that kid's name. I'm real sorry. He probably won't end up catching this, but he was live earlier. So if you see his show out there, it was pretty cool. Oh, numbers. Sports are going to get open, brother. Man, numbers, I'm telling you, man, we are getting close. Looks like everybody's taking the right steps. I'm going to tell you right now, being in Georgia, being one of the first states to open back up and start everything going casual, I honestly was expecting like a true shitstorm, and I was basing it a lot off of like people like me in the restaurant business and the bars, and people just wanting to get out of their house and just fucking go somewhere just to sit down and chill out for a little bit. But the numbers in Georgia have honestly been dropping since we've been doing this reopen. Everything's been looking good. It gives a lot of hope going forward, man. The facilities are back open for the NFL. They can only have 75 people in the building at one point, and no players or coaches. The only players that can go are players that were rehabilitating before all this shit started. They're allowed to go back and continue that process. But it's baby steps, man. It's baby steps. It's getting closer. But I'm telling you, they can end up pulling it off and making it work. The crowds are going to be something, and the fan base, that's going to be what they have to work through. But as far as pulling these games off, I truly think they can make that happen. Edgar, what's happening, dude? Hey, man, new sub here from El Paso. Oh, dude, what is going on? I appreciate you subbing, man. Prince, Nick Nelson. Ooh. MVP, you killed me, dude. Brian, what's up, Nate? What's up, man? It's Joku, dude. Isaiah Johnson, it's a true wild card in the secondary. If he and Arnett can flash early with Mullins, Nakamura, we're in good shape at QB. We really are, dude, and I'm telling you. And then you still have Nixon back there, and you still have Lawson back there. So it's looking pretty good, dude. I really like the way that our cornerbacks are lining up. A lot of it is going to come down to Isaiah Johnson and Arnett, though, if they can make that next step. I really think Johnson is there. I really think if that kid ended up starting, we would be looking pretty damn good with him. But I think Prince will probably end up starting unless Arnett just truly beats him out. But I'm telling you, man, that's a pretty deep cornerback position. And it's been a long damn time since we had a defense that looked like this, but to where we actually had depth at some of these positions. So I'm honestly happy about that, Brian. I'm right there with you. You think we're going to play Abram at linebacker in the sub packages? it's very possible. He's a big enough body and a hard enough hitter to where he can step up and make those plays. It would honestly free up a safety position to bring one of these other dudes in to kind of play that position. A lot of you guys talk about putting Joyner back there. That'd actually be a pretty cool setup. And I wish you were around when I was doing those little defensive setup videos. Put Joyner back there and then move Abram over to one of those linebacker positions. That would actually be looking pretty damn cool. It would actually leave a lot of speed on the field, and you still have some thumpers out there. Jason, that's a damn good idea, dude. Yeah, right, Mullen way better than Nelson. Yeah, dude. Like, he's just talking shit. We all know he's talking shit, Prince. I got you. Oh, you made me become a Raider fan. Oh, what made you become a Raider fan? I grew up playing Pee Wee football, like I'm sure most of you guys did out there. I played on Saturdays. We were the Raiders, with like Oak Forest Raiders. And then on Sundays, the Raiders were pretty damn big when I was a kid, so they were always televised, even though I was growing up in Chicago. So it just became a thing, like played on Saturday, watched them on Sunday. Shit just stuck with me. I had my uncle that was a huge Raider fan. He kept giving me Raider shit as I was a kid, and it just kind of grew from there. Nick Nelson never panned out, just never showed in practice. He really didn't, man, and it sucks. It sucks to say. I mean, his stat line truly was just shit. I mean, we can't argue that. So, I don't know. There was just something about that kid. Honestly, I feel the same way about Markel Lee. I feel the same way about Arden Key. And just seeing him just straight up get waived off the team today really has me worried about those two, because I really like those two. I really like Key and I really like Lee, and I do not want to see either one of those dudes moved on from, but they're both very real possibilities. So I don't know, man. That would be one of my big shocking ones if I had to pick one. Arden Key not making this team next season is a very real possibility, and I would hate that. I would hate every damn second of it, but it is what it is. Kirby, what's happening, dude? I said it like 3 months ago. Nick is going to get released, and you were right, sir. You were definitely right. Other teams have to have draft picks to hire. Other teams have to have draft picks to hire minorities. Al was doing it because he believed in them. Dude, I completely agree with you, man. And that's the other thing. They talk about all this, but they never, ever go back and give Al Davis credit for that shit. They'll say it like in a little like tidbit of something, just kind of off to the side, or when they're talking about one of those people that he brought in and hired. That drives me nuts about that. Give the Raiders their respect, especially there. We got two Super Bowls out of it. That is true, sir. That is very true. Nicholas, if we can't get any players from any team, who would you? Oh, if you can get any player from any team, who would you get? Man, that is a tough one, dude. I would love to go out there and just put a star wide receiver on this team. Just somebody like, I know our receiver core is decked out right now, but if I could pick like anybody out there and stick them on this team, I would probably go out there and pluck Julio Jones, stick him on this roster, or Michael Thomas, just somebody like that. Could you imagine that receiver room if you ended up having like, oh dude, that dude from Hopkins. I would love to have Hopkins. If you had Hopkins on one side, Ruggs on the other, dude, that like shit like that would just be crazy. I would love that. I would take it in a heartbeat. You're from Chicago? Yeah, originally I am. I grew up there as a kid. I left out of there pretty damn early. I think I was under 10 by the time we moved out of there. Arden could get cut. Yes, he could. What's our cap looking like? I mean, it's pretty low. We got everybody signed that needs to be signed. I want to say we have a couple million left. It's not very much at all. But as these players keep getting released off and we keep cutting it down, you get a little bit bounce back of that money. So we still have room to move out there. We can go out there and get another, probably one or two dudes if they were decent name dudes. But you know how Gruden and Mayock love to just go out there and get the most obscure dude they can, stick him on the roster, and then make him look like a superstar. So I feel like we're set at QB and safety. Hope it shows up. Still wish we took Murray or Queen. We're screwed if we have injuries at linebacker again, but I definitely have faith in the upgrades at defense. And you are right about that, dude. One of those linebackers go down, we're going to be looking at the same damn thing where we have Compton back out there. And I know a lot of you guys love Compton. Compton came in there and played a huge role for us. He played that position well, so I do appreciate that out of him. But it's a step down. If you go from Kwiatkowski or Littleton down to Compton, I mean, you're taking a step backwards there, so that does suck. If we get Vontez back, or a linebacker core would be Muse, Lee, Morrow, that's a massive upgrade. Dude, I'm telling you, man, I really want to get Vontez back on this team. I really think they're just waiting to see how everything shakes out. honestly don't think anybody else is gonna go out there and grab him. We went out there and re-signed Phillips, that dude we had last year that lasted for like 2 weeks, and we got rid of him, dude. Like, save that money, man. Save that money. Take this money from Nelson. Go out there and get Vontez back and just have him just as depth. It's nothing else but depth. Flores' first minority coach. Yes, he was. That is straight facts. He hired the first woman. He had the first black coach. Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man. Al was outside the box, and I love him for it forever. Mark Ali has a shot, but Arden Key just missed tackles, period. He doesn't wrap up, and he won't bulk up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. There's a real shot. That dude is gone. Like a serious shot. And I do. I'm not going to hide it. Like I've talked about the dude a million times. I do like him. I do think he has a shit ton of potential, but at the same time, if you're not going to show up, that is what it is out there. PJ Hall versus Jonathan Hankins. I think both those dudes are going to end up making this team. I think Hall's going to end up taking that very last spot. I think Hankins, you're going to see a damn good bit of him again. Barring injury, Hankins will be out there in that rotation with Hurst and Collins the majority of the time. We have no choice but to keep Arden Key after Crosby, Farrell, and Nazip. Who else plays defensive end? Need him for depth. That's what I'm saying. That's why I think we might have another dude come in there. What if we're going to bring in another dude to play like that fourth spot out there? Let it be Key. Just let it be him. He's young. He has potential. So we'll see what happens with that. He can also never finish tackles. He struggles. That is true. And he never really made it to the quarterback. He always got pressure, but he never actually made it there. So all I'm saying is Arden Key takes himself out of the starting lineup. Yes, he does. I will completely agree with that. PJ and Hankins are staying. Yeah, I think you're right about that. And I would have argued with you about that before I honestly checked out your video the other day. But seeing those guys play, you forget about that shit, dude. I get so wrapped up in the numbers on this that, especially in the offseason, you forget about the actual play time and seeing that the impacts they make even when they're not a part of the play. And so I appreciate you showing that because it kind of changed my mindset a little bit. So good job on that. All right, man. So that's what I got for you guys tonight. It's going to be another short one. Just want to come out there and just kind of break the news to you guys, let everybody know what's happening. So until next time, guys, Prince, you should start uploading videos on top of streams. Your channel is going to blow up soon. I thought about it, dude. There's so much that goes into like doing the editing and things like that, because I really wanted to have like just one of the intros. Like a lot of these dudes have an intro out there. Like, I have no idea how to do any of that shit, like at all. I'm really happy I got to the point that I'm at right now. So I don't know, man. If you guys have any tips about that shit and how you set that stuff up, please let me know. But as far as uploads, I love going live. Like, I truly do. I know I make my mistakes out here. I misspeak a pretty good bit, but I love the interaction because I see it from just my perspective of just sitting here bullshitting Raider football with all you guys. So it's the whole reason I started this thing. So I probably won't mix it up too much just because I love the live aspect of it. All right, man. That's what I got for you guys until, I don't know, next day or two, whenever I check back in. We'll see you guys. Thank you all so much. Click that like button on your way out. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. We'll see you guys next time. I'm Son Joku.